Hello everyone.
Hi everybody. Good morning.
Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club.
Welcome, welcome. How is everyone this Monday? It's a whole new week. Don't you dare close your eyes. A whole new week. Each new weekday gets better.
There's a Monday and a Tuesday and it's Monday today.
Sometimes it's even a Wednesday.
But don't you even talk about Thursday.
And Friday doesn't exist.
Ed, help me! Wake up, Sid! Shut up, Tails!
Josie Fanta coming in with
thank you.
I'll just put out a statement. I've seen the emails from people who are asking certain things. I'll respond to those today. So if you're waiting for a reply from us, I'll do that today.
Oh, I have not seen the emails.
Yeah.
That have certain things. I have a guess of what they are, but I don't know. Time doesn't exist anymore. Did time ever truly exist, guys?
Yes.
Time, as Bert's pointing out, is an illusion.
No.
Time is a human construction.
No. The
Time
universe,
isn't real.
the universe requires
like-
time for things to happen.
It's like Santa Claus or peaches. That's true, Dogbolt. Thyme does exist. It's a very delicious herb to use in soups.
India, do you have zinc SketchUp?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
How come?
You got NDI turned on.
I do.
Alright,
I do.
You're super prepared then.
I do.
Right.
Part Sinclair! I'm sorry to hear mosquitoes were keeping you up all night.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that too.
I hope that you got some decent sleep at least. I hope that if you didn't, you get some good sleep today. Maybe you could even nap. Or something. Have a nice little napple.
Napito.
Naputo. Is that like Naruto, except it's just about him taking a nap?
It's Naruto
We're
mixed
nap
with Laputa,
ninjas.
mixed with napping. You get it. I dreamt about you two tonight. Oh.
What you were gonna say? Oh, I thought you said YouTube, and then I was gonna say I thought you said YouTube, but then I read the comment and you did say YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube. So
You too.
whoa, you met up with us in real life, and we watched your reviewed animations together, and then you put up rainbow wallpapers in a room in your home, and then we took a train somewhere, but we struggled buying tickets in the app. That sounds extremely realistic as a dream, actually.
It sounds plausible.
Yeah, we definitely have trouble traveling. Like every single time we travel, something goes wrong, or we get lost, or like our tickets don't work, or we lose them, or the train's delayed or cancelled, or we end up in a place we didn't even want to go.
Self-isolating has been very good for us.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't had to go anywhere, which has been great. It was a vision, Eve. Good morning, Palbro. Maybe it was. It sounds like it's a scenario that could happen.
Okay. So you can all see India's screen.
Hello, welcome to my world.
Cool. I grabbed a bunch of them before going to bed, and now I'm gonna go check to see if there's any more. So
Mike did show me just before the stream that Porky has done an animation that leads on from my Quack animation that I did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
If you guys know Quack is the insane looking duck that I animated. I made like a duck water mech thing and made it dance a little while back. And Porky is like animated an extension to it, and it's hilarious. And Duck is in a cup now. Duck likes its new life. It's very happy about it. It's incredible though, so we should definitely show that off.
Oh, right.
Alright, India, I'll indulge you. So how was everybody's weekend? Gosh darn, tell me how you all are.
Yeah, well, you do that while I gather up more submissions.
I appreciate Palbro being the hype man. Like, bagel! Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I can see on the thumbnail that there's a bagel. That's gonna happen. Weakening. The great weakening has happened. You did a nice hike. Oh, that's cool. That sounds nice. I wish we had a place like to walk somewhere around here to hike or walk or something. We're in a very flat industrial estate, so we can walk around the block, but that's about it. Not fun, Heart Sinclair. Oh no. And Josie, no worries. You go and get some sleep. It's important. You can always catch the VOD and we'll be here tomorrow and every other day this week, so there's no obligation for you to have to stick around. You have important life stuff happening.
Thank you for the follow.
TVC15. Hey, it's good. It's tea. It's Earl Grey tea this morning. I'm enjoying it very, very much so. I needed this little caffeine boost.
Bozio. There we go.
I think that your aunt from out of town decided to stay for 2 whole weeks. What are you, a sitcom? Well, I mean, I hope that fun shenanigans happen to offset the inconvenience of that. Did I solve my insomnia? I wish that it was as easy to solve as that. I got some okay sleep last night. I ordered a weighted blanket, and it should be here today.
Yeah, maybe.
Today, maybe.
Maybe.
We got an email saying it would be 2 days, but that was just before the weekend, so I'm assuming it'll probably mean 2 working days. You know, if you call me Swift India, you can call me either. You can call me whatever you dip darn want to. Either works for me. People I know call me a variety of different things.
Swifty Blimp.
Swifty Blimp is Mike's personal name that he's allowed to say.
Allowed. Permitted.
Yes.
Excused.
He can say it with no consequences.
Show in folder.
Oh, thanks, Indigo Emily. I hope it arrives soon too. I'm excited to try it, you know? I think it sounds amazing. And I don't know how people are going to stop me from wearing it all the time and just walking around like a giant blanket queen. Then everyone will have to call me Blanket Queen.
Blanket Queen, huh?
Yeah, instead of Swift or India. India does not exist anymore. There is only the Blanket Queen. Oh, you ordered Twerp's new shirt. Twerp have a new shirt?
Yeah, the one that David designed.
Oh, yeah, that one's awesome. I forget because we saw that design a little while back because David was like, I'm working on this. So to us, it doesn't feel particularly new because we were aware of it ages ago. But it's just out, isn't it?
Yeah.
The bird with the hat. Don't know what that's referring to. But...
You in a witch's hat.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah. Now I know. I'm very happy about it. My witch's hat, I haven't checked for it yet. I need to check the mail today. We'll see if the weighted blanket's here. We'll see if the witch's hat is here. Because Bryony's witch hat has arrived. So, mine should have arrived.
Yeah,
Today I'm going to be a regular Gandalf. I'll put my cloak on and my hat on and my weighted blanket on myself. And I'll just be in a pile of stuff.
I feel like the sound that you would make after that has occurred would just be like... Oh. That's the one.
Yeah.
Refresh your sync sketch.
Okay. Here we go. It is refreshed.
Cool.
There are 10 of them now.
There are 10 of them now.
You sound so happy. Can I show... well, I mean, should I show Porkies first because we were talking about Porkies?
It's up to you.
You know what? We'll go through them in order and we can leave that one. You guys can... Ooh, it's tension building. It's mysterious.
I think they're arranged in alphabetical order.
Oh,
so...
right. They're not arranged in order of who submitted when.
Don't think so, no.
I see.
We should probably do it in order of who submitted first sometime, but...
Good morning, Elaine. And good morning, Alan Alice. Go get some good sleep. But yeah, I'll go and check if my hat's arrived today, because I think boarding in my hat and cloak is a real power move that I want to do. Alright, so let's start off on the Animorning reviews. And I'll do a quick recap of what we did last week. So last week, we set the challenge to animate a small action using power centers. And what power centers are they're like the centrifugal energy. Hold on, I'm trying to think of how best to put this.
Nighto, Porky.
Oh, night, Porky.
Do you want? You could show Porky's before he goes to bed, and then. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I could show Porky's. I could show Porky's first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do that. So, power centers are the source from which your characters draw their energy, essentially. And we picture them as like an invisible ball. And the great thing about them is that your character's posture and center of movements will change depending on where that ball is. So it's a great tool that animators use to convey different body language and different personalities between different characters. So someone with a very high power center tends to seem quite anxious. Someone with quite a low power center seems to usually feels very low energy, which can either be like confidence or it can be like sadness. There are many different ways you can use them, and some people even do things where they will have a power center for a character that changes throughout the arc of a story. So as they either gain confidence, it changes, or as they change mood, it can change too. So if you have, you know, say Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is probably too explicit an example of changing. But if you have a character who is like pretty low key until they get excited about something, you might want to change their power center when they get excited to something else. So you can really see the difference in the character's mannerisms between those two states that they tend to fluctuate between. So yeah, it's a great tool. Power centers are awesome, and I'm excited to see where you guys have chosen to put them. And yeah, just have a look at what you guys have been doing. Thanks everyone who took part in the challenge. I hope you all had fun. Did people feel like they kind of learned stuff using this? Did you find it a useful tool? Do you think you would use it again or use it in the future? Ah, Eve, that's awesome. I'm glad you had fun. Do we still have the part of the cheat on the sheet, Mike, where we asked people like how they enjoyed it?
Yes.
Awesome.
You?
Yeah, exactly, Ninja Girl and Emily. It's like it's something invisible, but that you keep it in mind as you're animating, and it can really change the way that you would have your character gesture, talk, act. Fair enough, blah blah neeb. It's a tool, so you guys like are free to take it or leave it as it's useful to you. Alright, let's have a look at Porky's. Because
Okay.
I don't know if you were here, Porky, but I told people that I saw this morning. Which is awesome. Okay, so it's going to start off straight from Porky Boy's section, and then I think it loops back.
Well, his is before yours.
Okay, gotcha. Let's do it. I love it. Doug feels like it's having such a good time. I'm so happy for it. It's beautiful. Cup duck. Duck in the tub. I didn't think I would see this guy I didn't think I'd see this guy again unless I was like drawing it.
Yeah,
So
unless you were making
it's
it.
a real treat to see more duck action happening. Hell yeah. So in terms of power centers, I think it's fairly clear where the power center is here. Look at this good boy. Looks like it's having such a great time. So of course, power center is going to be like either the cup or the duck. I'd say it's the cup because it's the largest part. And it's driving the motion of the duck. And the water. I love these cartoon hands you've got on it. So cool. I almost prefer this version.
You prefer this version?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's kind of easier to be a mech if you're actually like a cup. I love how you've left this on screen for a frame. I don't know if it was intentional, but I like it. It works, so you totally don't see it. Yeah! Look at these poses. So fun.
That's awesome.
Peace, man! You think the bucket of metal butt box, but you're unfamiliar with the term before this. It's awesome. You should look into it, definitely.
There's a face.
There is a face. I like that, like, we learn that the butt actually is sentient and and has a character beyond it just being a bowl. And then we upend the bowl. Nice. I love this though. The poses are so fun. Like, I'd say, like, the power center is an interesting debate in this one. Because you would think it would be the duck, being that the duck is, like, the center of sentience. And yet, a lot of the duck's motion is driven from the torso here. Yeah. But the gesturing is all very low. Which makes it feel more like it would be a hip power center.
I feel like it is. I feel like that little butt is the power center.
I think Palbro's right, yeah. I think both you guys are right. It feels like that's where the majority of the movement is driven from, and the gestures being down there too makes it feel like it's down. It's down there. I'm just checking out the poses.
Porgy Boy says, I also did not know that Quack was its name before this. I thought everyone was just memeing me on stream.
No, Quack is the name of the duck. Now you know. You have made a fine Quack animation, sir. It's so fun to watch. I love all the smears. Like, this is such a fun frame here with the reversal on the elbows. Hell yeah. And then there's nice smears. Yeah. This more than anything makes me want to do more with the duck character, just because I'm like, I like this bowl version of him. It's cool.
I mean, there's still shots in the collab.
It's just gonna be all Quack. Yeah.
I don't see why not, yo.
That's awesome. So, like, the power center, we could either be here. We could even be, like, underneath in between the legs. Depending on how you look at it, because the gestures are so low.
So what, in that pose where the butt goes back, it's almost like swinging out from below.
Yeah, it's almost like it's here. You see what I'm meaning? There we go. Nice. Quack and Morning challenge. I just really wanted to show that off. Like, obviously I don't have much critique for it. How rough my original one is. I was rushing through it so much on Photoshop. It's all blurs, guys. It's all smoke and mirrors. I just used blurs to make it look cool. But there's really not that much to it.
Oh yeah, Eve Art says, remember to use the translucency thing you mentioned that you always forget.
I do! Thank you for reminding me, I forgot.
Ah, the fates.
Cyclop duck.
Oh, are you just looking at your own animation now? It's fine. I'll enjoy it.
But yeah, beautiful, beautiful work, Porky. Like, really love this. So nice to see an old familiar friend again.
He's beautiful.
All right, let's move on to the next one because I don't have any critique on this. I just love it. I think it's brilliant. I love all the swoops, the feeling of the movement changing from side to side. Super fun. The way that the arms are kind of laid behind everything. It's beautiful. It's just great. I have to find this on Twitter and retweet it. Dr. Sung. Oh my gosh, temptation to put Quack in Sung's hat.
Oh, that would be good.
Okay. Thank you so much, Porky Boy, and you can go get some sleep now. Thank you for sticking around long enough for us to, like, praise your animation and rant at you about how cool it is. I appreciate it. I'm sorry it wasn't much of a review of them. This is cool! But I'm glad we at least got to, like, properly call it out. Night night, Porky. Yeah, exceptional Quack. I agree. Okay, so now everyone's able to chant bagel as much as they want because we're on blah blah neebs. Let's have a look. Oh, nice! You actually put the power center in there too. That's awesome.
Oh, super cool.
Yeah, you can really see how it's driving the movement. That's kind of like they're chasing a ball that's got away from them. That's really fun. So how did you do this in 3D? Did you end up animating the ball first and then going in and animating the character afterwards? Or did you use some kind of physics to link the two together?
I'm going to just read out what Porky said about theirs. Saying, thanks to a certain person who attended my stream, I learned a bit more about favoring keyframes and making the power centers feel apparent, apparently according to Patrick's standard. Fasten the fast and slow down the slows.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's advice that I call to mind often from Pat, as I have many Pat voices in my head when I animate that remind me of various things that he's told me over the years, and one of the most frequent ones is make the fast fast and the slow slower. That's one which comes up for me a whole bunch.
And Blah Blah Neeb says, had an idea of where I wanted the center to be in the middle of the pelvis, but after animating it, it ended up being a bit to the right. Never used this technique with animating, so I learned a lot.
That's awesome.
If I ever try animating around power centers again, I'd animate the center before the rest of the character.
Interesting, yeah. I guess that would be a good way to do it, yeah. It's interesting thinking about things in 3D because you kind of have to approach the pipeline slightly differently. I could give you some advice on poses to make them read a bit clearer. Like, here when we go from leg to leg, and your bagel boy is running. It seems like they spring off on one leg, and then both legs kind of come together before they spring off on the other leg. So I think the leg that you bring through and is first, you're going to want to stretch that out for the contact rather than it kind of coming in and backwards. So you really want it to be kind of like... Whoop, whoop, whoop. I know that bends are very hard to get in the knees. Maybe that's the next thing that Bagel needs. The latest update to Bagel is figuring out a way to get the knees to bend in a way that feels very, like, clear silhouette-wise.
This one is 3D animation, yeah. Hisoka-kan.
It sure is. This is the famed Bagel, which is a recurring character that attends the Animorning challenges every week and gets up to various shenanigans. So yeah, you want to stretch out the contact. contact foot, rather than having it coming backwards. And then on this one, that back foot will be on the ground and this front foot will be coming through. Like, I'm sorry that it's so easy to draw this in 2D, but to get these shapes in 3D with the amount of up and down you have is going to be really tough to get the legs to read properly. I mean, if you could get them to read, then that would be amazing. But I understand that that's going to be really hard with a rig. It's much easier just to be like, boop, I drew it. But I think being able to deform the legs into these kind of positions clearly also would really help in the future when you're posing out all the stuff.
I think it is a donut, you guys, that named Bagel.
Yes. Just like I'm a human named India. Not actually a country. Yeah. And then same with the other foot is you would stretch that contact out. I like how much the head is like dragging behind.
India, translucency thing.
Oh, thank you. Let me pop it on.
There you go.
Hey, this is a body, let's not start a problem. Okay. It just makes me laugh, the shadow as well, like the hole in the middle. I can see the teeth. So scared.
Coffee Doodle says, oh man, but if Swifty was a country, the possibilities.
I was playing Risk with some friends once, and for those who don't know, like with a game like Risk Legacy, you get to name certain things on the board and like permanently call them things. So I had a city that I named India, inside a country that I named India, inside a continent that I named India.
And your player name was?
India. So every time someone said India, there were 4 possibilities to what they could be referring to.
I'm going to attack India. Which
Do you mean the
one?
player, the city, the country, or the continent? I once said county. Very English thing. But yeah, like you can definitely feel the power center here driving it, which is really fun. I think for the head dip, I might have it happen slightly earlier if I were you. So when your bagel boy first pushes off the ground, that's probably when I drag the head the most, because that's when the upward force is the strongest, and therefore the wind resistance against his head would be the strongest.
I see.
And push it back the most. So I would probably have that be the time. Whoop. Head back on upward thrust. Or push off.
Frieza is going to destroy Vegeta. The planet my son or me. Yes!
And then when you reach the apex of the arc, that's probably when I would have the head come back up more.
Vegeta. Nappa.
I'm just saying Dragon Ball Z names now.
Kakarot.
Kakarot.
I just like how they pronounce every single letter.
Vegeta.
What? As opposed to Vegeta?
Vegeta. They're not like
Vegeta.
they're like
Vegeta. Vegeta, have some Cheetos.
Don't scrimp on the Cheetos, Vegeta.
Don't scrimp on the Cheetos, Vegeta.
They pronounce everything so like...
We must make sure people can understand what we're saying.
That is totally the delivery.
What are you doing?
Nothing?
You thwarted my plans.
No.
Looks like you're thwarting my plans.
I love that. If any of you are interested in Dragon Ball, but you haven't watched Dragon Ball Abridged, I recommend it.
Like if you want to get into it, but you don't know where to start. Like that's how I'd handle the head. Is I'd have it back the most when you first push off, and then come more to the fore here, and then probably on the weight. That's when I'd have it most forward. But that is up to you. If that's something you want to adjust or not. Either way, I think the power center here is working. I can definitely feel it pulling the belly forward. Which is super fun.
Are you referring to the good animation knowledge, Sorbet Owl, or are you referring to the fact that we're trying to do Dragon Ball voices?
Piccolo. Veggie platter.
Veggie platter.
You're a good Frieza. I can't do the voice today. Sometimes I'm actually pretty good at doing it. Today, I guess, is not one of those days.
I mean, do you know Frieza's voice that well?
Oh no, I don't. I assumed it would be the same.
Oh, it's...
Is it different?
It's slightly higher pitched. Though some of the ones that I've heard for Vegeta are a little bit more feminine. Sorry, for Frieza.
Yeah, I got confused. I don't know how Frieza sounds, so I can't tell if I'd be able to do it.
I think you just doing Vegeta sounds more like Frieza.
I'm Frieza. Dragon Balls.
Anywho, awesome job, blah blah neeb. It's fun. It makes it different, doesn't it? Like you approach the entire thing differently, and the way the run comes out itself is way more like, I think it's way more interesting and individual than if you were to just take the stock run poses.
Yeah.
And do those. Like there's something specific about it now to the character. Super fun. I love this. I love me some bagels in the morning. Can't get enough of my Monday morning bagels.
And thanks once more for taking part, blah blah.
Yeah,
neeb.
thank you so much, blah blah neeb. What we got here? Looks like someone's about to boogie. You keep baking those bagels, you better. Let's have a look at. So this is Toon Scribbles.
I believe so. Yep.
This is their submission.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. Awesome. That's nice and clear. Like, we can already tell where the power center is there. It's in da butt. Yo, it's the centrifugal force of the boogie motion. Everyone who likes cookies and biscuits should look into Wayne Theobald's art. Maybe we will. Yeah, this is like super clear. The power center is here.
But
Power center. That's where you put it in your butt. It's super toony. I really like the fact that you have like a bunch of stuff moving, but then the head is pretty much staying in one place. I would say that in terms of the animation itself, I think one thing you could do to improve it is that it's actually pretty hard to read the click motion. And I think it's partially because the foot tap motion happens at the same time and is also in the same place. So I think if you like spread those hands out a bit so that they don't get confused with the silhouette of the foot, then you'd be able to make that read a bit clearer.
I see.
So here we are. So we have this nice click motion. So, ha ha ha, let me put on my trace opacity.
You done did it.
If you have, for example, just for an example. This instead, like just spread them out a little bit more. Or even have that come even further forward. Why not? Let's push the Z depth.
Vertexies says shoutouts to the ground planes this week.
Yeah, hell yeah. Nice job, guys, using those grids.
The power center bouncing makes me think of Keke Flipnote animations.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
KK Flipnote animations, like the majority of their characters are just like balls with a head on top. So their entire being just like bounces like one ball.
That's why he's so powerful.
He is super powerful. He's also like way too nice to ever be like a final boss. You'd like reach him and he'd be like, do you want some bread and tea?
Bread. Baguette.
So yeah, I'd say break away from silhouette. A foot.
Oh, cool. Kurzik met him at Annecy last year and he was super nice.
I bet. Yeah, he seems like the nicest person in the world. Like, I've never met him, but he seems like he would just be like an absolute sweetheart. Everything he does is so wholesome. Yeah. You see how that is more readable? Just because you're breaking away from the foot there. I think it would also be fun actually to delay the foot after the click by just like one frame or something. Just so that we don't have everything happening at the same time. So if I'm like, if I make the foot drag a little bit here, I should probably check what your previous foot frame is doing. Yeah. Let's drag a little bit to give it a bit of anticipation there on the toe. And then I wonder if I can just change this sketch. Add to sketch. Let's change it to that. Wait, is this adjusted to my original sketch? Aw, so bad at this. Okay, well, you know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I will just quickly sketch these on again so you can see them.
Hisoka can. So each week, India sets a Animorning challenge. It's a weekly challenge, and on Sundays we gather up the entries from people, and then on today's stream we look through them, providing any feedback or things that we think would be helpful to the animators that have submitted for the challenge. There's a theme. This week's theme is power centers, which India described at the beginning of the stream and also when she was given the challenge. And yeah, so for today we're just reviewing people's animations specifically for those that have submitted for the challenge.
There we go. And then delay foot. One frame. Just to add some texture. There we go. You see how having that offset and those hands out really makes everything read? Funky. I like it. I love this. So I love how clear the center is here. And that swing is very pleasing arc-wise. from one side to the other. Both the spacing and the arc there are really pleasing and satisfying to look at. I'm a fan of that. Have a look at that spacing. Yeah, so you see how we have like this big ease on one end, and then we have just one center frame and ease on the other end. If you wanted to make your cycle like a bit more interesting, what you could do is rather than have a dead center frame, you could favor that to one side or the other depending on like which side is going from and to. So it would be a slightly different drawing depending on whether it's going from one side to the other or from left to right or from right to left. However, in terms of economy, like this is great because you can just, you know, you can just loop this ad infinitum and it totally works. We do announce the challenge just on stream. We just do it at the end of the Monday reviews.
That's where it's first announced. So
Yeah.
that's where you can get in on the ground level.
Thank you very much, Toon Scribbles. Great job. Did Toon Scribbles say anything about the
No.
experience of using a power center?
No.
Okay. That's fine.
It's an optional question.
It is an optional question. I'm just always interested as to like, especially when it's a new tool that people haven't heard of. I'm like, did it help? How did you find it? What was
Yeah.
difficult about it? Like, do you think you'll use it again? Just excited to hear how people found it. Okay, Jack L draws. Let's have a look.
Tis a nose.
Tis a nose. Tis an India nose. That's great. So yeah, luckily Jack has drawn on the power center here. But I think even if they hadn't, it would still be pretty clear like whereabouts that power center is.
Mm-hmm.
Like just on top of the nose, right? I do think in terms of the animation itself, it doesn't feel like the movement is enough to elicit such a strong wobble from the nose. But you know, who knows? Maybe the character has like their entire end of their nose is entirely like rubber with no bone in it whatsoever. All the cartilage just stops here. And then everything else is just like flappy.
It's fun though.
It is, I like it. Like that's the thing, is it's animation and it's your character. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. So yeah, let's see. I would probably, because these two frames feel a bit stuck together in terms of the nose motion.
Eve Art Studio says, your critique is a little on the nose, eh?
Ah! Nice. I should probably use a different colour than red because they've used red. Hold on. Purple, maybe? Wait. Tracing paper. Yeah, now you can see it.
There you go.
So helpful.
Dark Vault says, I find it difficult understanding how a power center influences the motivation. It's very new.
Yeah. I get that. It is very new. I hope you had fun trying it though. Why is this doing like add to sketch instead of new sketch? I guess I'll just erase the previous sketch. And then that totally works. Yeah. And
Think
then
about if you're running.
I think when it comes down. Sorry, it's just like I'm halfway through doing this critique on the movement of the nose.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say what I'm thinking as I'm drawing rather than be silent
Okay.
and draw over the top of it. So this is all working fine. And then as it comes down, you want the end to drag a little bit rather than immediately go into a reversal. And then the reversal would probably happen like here. And then it would... Huh, weird. Right. There we are. Then it would drag back up into its final position. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say, imagine you were running, and then what that motion and the motion would feel like, and then imagine you were holding a really heavy weight in one hand, and you were having to run, imagine how it would influence how you would use that counterweight. Like if you were needing to like put more effort into pushing one arm forward. Power centers are a little bit like that, where there's something heavy or something requiring.
I wouldn't say it's like having a weight or something heavy.
Okay.
It's more like it's the center that power and energy is derived from.
Okay.
Like it's where your movement is pulling towards.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think people will start seeing it like it's just like it's a weight that you animate your character being weighed down by, but that's not always the case.
That makes sense.
There we go. So, for example, because this character's power center is their nose, I think you could bring this cup up higher. So gestures tend to cluster around where the power center is. Let me find the frame where the mug comes up. There we are, it's this one. So I think you could bring it like even over here. Which would be like closer to the power center. Or you could like just raise it up a bit more up here. If you wanted to still have the arm across the body. Raise up. Mug more to power center. I meant to write here, but I wrote hero. Hero. Here.
Hero mug.
Or here. I think both of those would work. Like, things like thinking about how the fingers here on this other hand would be drawn up to the power center. So it'd be more likely to be like this, with the like knuckle being pulled up. All these little subtle things that you can think about. Having like the shoulder higher, that's closer to the power center. Like subtle acting choices. Being pulled up to the power center. There we go. We're getting like a little bit of twist as well on that body. So that the chest is being pulled up to the power center too. So it feels everything is leading to this point. You see?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to share with you guys the Mystic Crystal documentation at some point, because for Mystic Crystal I have documentation about where all the characters' power centers are, and there's like a whole page about like how that would affect their gestures for each of the characters that the animators can use when having them act. I might actually show a bit of that. at some point in the stream. Just because it seems like there might be a little bit of confusion as to what power centers are and how they drive movement. So yeah, like having everything, pull upward here. In this pose. And yeah, let's see at the start pose. Having like, again, the shoulder higher on the side where the power center is, as if it's being pulled up almost to it. And having this arm be a little higher, so it's a little closer to the power center. You probably wouldn't see the bottom of the mug. And again, drawing this knuckle up toward it. Like, they barely change the pose. But it's those like little subtleties. Pulling that chest up to it.
The subtleties make it more particular.
Exactly. They will make your character feel like your character in every pose.
I hate my creaky chair.
There we go. So I hope that's helpful. Like, it's all working apart from that, but I think you could definitely like strengthen the beginning and end pose and really like think about not just in terms of the design of your character illustrating where the power center is, but also like really draw that movement towards it as much as you can and try and have everything move from that. Yeah, like having the whole body like pulled by the nose and the neck, because the power center is like on the front of the face, so the head is going to be leading the movement of the body and such. Is a nice thing to think about. ED40 is our friend.
Oh,
WD40.
Yeah.
Because of creakiness. Nothing wrong with some good old WD-40.
I feel like I had some of that at one point. I don't know where it's gone.
I know I have some. I don't know where it is either though. But yeah, thank you, Jack L. Draws. I hope you had fun. Did they say anything about the power centers on the document?
Oh, it's a good question. The whole concept was a little new to me, so it was all a bit of a struggle. I'd probably want a bigger power center for future practice and just really exaggerate things.
Yeah. I think so. Like, what I was saying here is like, don't be afraid to like get gestural with it. You know? Let the whole pose be pulled along by that power center. Like, let whole body be pulled by / led by that power center. Okay, let's see. So moving on to Evelyn Art Studio.
Whoa!
It's a Swifty verb! Cha 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 cha!
So Evelyn says,
It you, Evelyn!
planning the action of the movement, knowing where the actions are coming from, helps him plan how to move.
Is that everything?
Yep.
Awesome. Yes. Let's have a look at the Swifty Burb. So I know that I have pre-knowledge, so I'm cheating. I know that in fact let me say to you guys, where do you think the power center is? I'll let you guys guess since I know. Bert says Doig. You right, guys, you right. Hey, look at that. Eve Art Studio, you did a good job. Everyone knew. So yeah, like nice little subtle things like having the beak move first before the eyes do. And then I really like the way that the beak like leads the action here. Like this is a real nice pose. Just watch your consistency in your volumes and proportions between like this frame and this frame. It feels like the body grows and shrinks a lot. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the posing and everything, let's see if there's anything I can do which would help bring the power center more to the fore. Like all the gestures are quite high, which is nice. So let's see. I'd have everything flow from the beak. So we have the beak shape here. Like, let's bring that shoulder up like this. So that it's following that line of the beak. And then we can have this other arm flow out from a similar place here. And we can bring it up a little bit so it's a bit closer to the beak. And then really like you could push this butt back a little bit so that the beak is jutting further forwards. Like this.
Take care, blah blah neeb.
See blah blah neeb. Flow along the line of beak. Thank you very much for the bagel times. The bagel times! Your one stop for bagel related news. Yes. And with this first pose, let's see. What can we do here? So our power center, let me draw it in green. Oh, I should use the overlay as well. There we are.
Every time.
It's here. Just in the beak. So what can I do to draw more attention to that? Like, I might offset the body a little bit so that it breaks the silhouette a little bit more to draw more attention to it. So having the weight be on this leg instead.
Oh, I
so
see.
that this silhouette here of the beak is going to be super clear. And then I have my arms out here, don't I? So again, I might bring the gesture a little bit further up. More to the beak.
More to the beak.
More to the beak! And then might even drop that arm, just so that it's not interfering with the feeling that everything is like around this. bald India. I would look so terrifying if I was bald. I'm fairly convinced.
As the bird version or as your actual version?
As my actual version.
I think you'd be okay. Why do you think you'd be terrifying?
Like, see how now, like, everything feels like it's flowing upwards? I don't know, I feel like, you know, I don't know what shape my head is underneath my hair, but I have a feeling that it's, like, I'm gonna have a very lumpy head. Just have that feeling.
Okay.
See how everything is, like, leading to this point now? In before Doig massaging India's head.
That's not really something I do.
Beak it harder, beak it faster, do 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 do, makes us stronger, do 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 do. Our work is never over. So yeah, I really like that you move the beak first here. That's a really cool acting choice. And I like that the beak leads the movement here. You could have it lead the movement even more. Like, you could really, like... Here, my head comes over. I'm dabbing. You could really like lead the movement using the head here. And like get the body to follow along with it. Make sure that everything is like following that line. I like the little dab. And then I like that little overshoot and settle as well. Nice. Yeah, lovely job, Evelyn. Really, really cool. Is it Evelyn or Evelyn? I want to make sure that I'm saying your name properly. India dab. Hell yeah. You've just written your name again. I don't know. Evelyn? Evelyn. Evelyn. Okay, I've got it. Evelyn. That's right, right? Tell me if it's wrong. Hello, Snowflake Blossom. Short E. Okay, but it's Evelyn, not Evelyn, right? Not like Evie. I don't know whether Evelyn or Evelyn is the right one. Still. Like, short E, but I don't know how to pronounce the E. Is it an E or an E?
Evelyn Gallion.
Da un goku na jenshin no yone.
Goku?
Evil within.
I think there's a He-Man character and her name is Evil Lyn.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I hope that feedback is helpful and beautiful job.
Goku no Goku. Do, 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 do.
Evelyn. Beautiful job. Evelyn?
Evelyn.
Is it Evelyn?
Probably. She keeps saying you, but you can say Evelyn like in English.
But I don't know what the, in English means.
Oh, Evelyn.
Okay, so...
She's saying we can VC and she'll tell you.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not like mispronouncing your name.
Evelyn. Evelyn. Evelyn.
I don't know if it's an E or an E.
Doig is getting it right.
Okay, awesome, Evelyn.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. So next we have Vert NB.
Rudy B.
Next challenge pronounced Evelyn. Yeah.
What's we got here? Let's see. Vert B says, I learned that I don't think I really understand movement that well, but that's good because I think it helped me understand where my weak points are.
Oh, interesting. Okay. It's okay. Movement's hard.
Moving is hard.
Moving is hard. Okay, let's have a look. Look at this. This is a great stomp. Oh my gosh, it's the power center of the phone.
Whoa to the grid, yo.
Yeah, nice moving grid. Whoa. Yes. So Vert, it's you, evil Vert. Tell us whereabouts you were putting the power center here. You wondered if stationary thing could be the power center. It totally can. And it totally is. Like, it's pretty funny to have a character have their phone be the power center. I like that concept a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it would work very well for someone who's like very much glued to their technology to always be like drawn to where their phone is. Super cool. Yeah, I think it would be nice to have a very small bob on the phone. But I also really like it being stationary. I think there's a little bit of a feeling of unevenness between like the steps. Either this step feels like it's a bit too long, or we could push this step a bit longer to make them feel a little bit more even. But let's see, I would probably have it more like here. Bring it in a little. I'm impressed with this grid though. I think this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you say you don't understand movement, but I think this is super cool and really fun. A really fun cycle.
You done moved the grid.
You done moved a grid. The tail's nice too. Just like the way that you've got that figure 8 going on with it. Super nice. You could, yeah, lessen this elbow coming out just a little bit. There we go.
Vertiby was like, I have to admit, I was like, where'd the feet go?
Where'd the feet go, though? It's hard, yeah. I mean, you definitely gave yourself a challenge choosing to do a 3/4 walk on a moving grid. You can simplify that back a little bit as well. Simplify. And together, I'll show you how to simplify, reminiscent of the Wild Style 75. And then that'll go into this next shape a little bit easier. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There. And then you can delay that back a little bit there. Let me move that over. There we go. Yeah, and then that will flow into this shape nicely that you have here. Yeah. Oh, I personally think it's genius to have like the phone be the power center.
Genius.
Genius. Makes complete sense. And everything is definitely drawn towards it, which is fun. It would actually be really fun if you wanted to offset the cycle, because at the minute everything is happening like, because it's a walk and it's like everything is equally spaced in terms of your exposures and how many drawings you're holding them on for. Everything feels like everything's moving all the time, so it might be nice to have like a slower or faster movement overlapping that to make it feel a little bit more textured. And I think a great opportunity would be to have the fingers like really mashing on the phone. Like he's actually using it as he's walking. You could just have a little like 2-frame cycle of him like... You'd probably want to offset the thumbs actually.
Coffee Doodle says, I watched a guy walk into a light bulb because his phone was his power center.
There you go. It happened.
Have you ever straight up walked into a pole?
Yes.
It's so disorientating.
Yes, I have. I definitely have. More than once. So you could have like 2-3 frame cycle, even 4-frame cycle. Actually, any one of those.
I sound buff. Oh,
You've modulated your voice again.
keeps doing this.
I wonder why it keeps lowering your voice. That's really weird. Buttons, mashing, phone. Added texture. So that everything's not moving at the same rate. The whole stream it must have been, right?
Must have been. How does it sound now? Seems fine now? Okay. It wasn't on the whole stream, only just now.
Oh, weird. It's just activated.
Maybe I did move the mic, so I don't know if it's maybe just a loose USB connection.
Power center.
Thanks for letting me know. It wasn't a software thing. I didn't change any settings, even though I can.
Yeah, lovely. Nice work. I really like this idea of phone as power center. I think that's super cool. I think if I were to suggest improving it, just also watch that the head arcs here. In terms of the tilt of the head as well. Like it feels like there's a big movement here. And then very small movements here and then a big movement there. So just watch spacing on head, I'd say. Try and get that to be like a nice smooth circular motion. Because it's a little choppy at the minute. Smooth out spacing. Like circular motion. But I think it's definitely apparent where the power center is. And I think it's an important distinction to say that just because something is power center doesn't mean it has to be the thing which moves the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily what the power center is. The power center is just where the focus of energy is.
Gotcha. I feel like my understanding of power centers has grown.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. I hope it's the same for everyone. I hope people are starting to like get the feeling of them a little bit more. Awesome job there, MB. Thank you very much. Okay, let's have a look at Andres.
Uh-oh.
This is a pose. I'm very interested in what's going to happen. Okay, let's have a look. Oh wait, did Andre say anything on the form?
They said... I guess I'm learning to be clearer with the stuff I do. I know it is a thing I have to get better at, so I feel like I'm giving tiny steps forward. The thing I struggled the most was the creative aspect. I wanted to do a crazy power center like in a shoulder, knee, or a finger, but I couldn't really think in something interesting or less generic. That's what they said.
Well, let's see if we can guess where this power center is. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so disturbed. Andre, why? I'm so disturbed now.
Hips, I think.
Yep, the pelvis. I think it's the pelvis. That's like something out of a horror movie. Oh my goodness. I'm so disturbed now. Well, I mean, we definitely got across. Everyone's like, oh god. We definitely got across where the power center was. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Like, I mean, I can't fault the animation. You should do horror animation, Andre. This is like amazing and scary. This is like some Silent Hill shit you got going on here. Did the power center leave the body? I think it might have. I think the power center got out. It's loose, guys. It's loose. Oh no, I hate the pelvis bones pushing against the skin. Oh, it disturbs me. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of animation though. Even that little twist at the end. Look, it's okay though. From the blood, new life springs forth. So really, it's a happy
It's
ending.
okay.
Yeah, like this is some awesome animation.
This is
Like, super
evocative,
nice.
you could say.
Evocative?
Yeah. It evokes feeling.
Oh, it's like emotive.
Well, it's not really showing emotion. Evocative.
I mean, you can be evocative of something.
Bring strong images, memories, or feelings to mind. Yeah. Does that not work? Making you feel disturbed.
Yeah, it's like evocative of something, but evocative in itself.
Oh,
I don't know if
okay.
something can be evocative in itself.
Okay, emotive, arousing or able to arouse intense feelings. You're right. You're right.
I'm always right.
There's something about like the way the knees crumple in here that is very upsetting. I mean, there's not too much for me to critique here. Number one, because the animation's really nice, and it like definitely creates feelings that I think you were going for, which is awesome. But also because the power center isn't used in a conventional way, it's difficult for me to like look at it and say you used the power center super well here, or you could improve the use of the power center here, because the character isn't so much actually doing an action with the power center being something that's a passive influence on that action. It's more like the subject is, what if the power center was a monster growing inside you? Which I think you've delivered extremely well.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for me to be like, well, in use of power centers, this is what you could do to improve your use of the power center.
It's overpowered center.
Yeah, you overpowered the center. It's beautiful though. Like, it's gonna write on it like, beautiful and creepy. Please make horror films. Seriously, if you were to like take some material like Junji Ito, his stuff or something, I can imagine you doing an amazing job of interpreting that.
I'm gonna read.
You should damn well
book.
read it. I bought it for you, and like it's so good, dude. You have to read it.
I'm gonna.
I bought Mike Uzumaki. No spoilers. You can't sleep at night knowing there is power inside you. Yeah, I like Grid. Grid gets a heart. Grid. I guess I'll just call out the stuff I like in it, since I can't really critique it too much.
That would be a review.
Yeah. Like, nice use of a cycle.
Found it.
Take that to the bathroom instead of Smash Brothers.
Never.
You gotta trust me that you're gonna enjoy it and it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, well, maybe being on the toilet is a good move, but I want to relax and sit down with it rather than.
Yeah, be on the toilet then. That's where you relax. I know
Nah,
you.
No, I end up getting like dead legs if I sit too long in the toilet.
Movement adds texture.
Eater's gonna make you poop. Okay, cool.
And then I really like this knee. Knee crumple. The knee crumple leading is super cool.
Get the toilet stool that raises your legs.
And then BAM! Flat on the ground.
Did you just bam?
I did. Like, non-conventional power center. But really conveys. Creepiness. Silent Hill vibes. Nice job, Andre. Man, I'm excited to see what I'm going to get from you next.
Because you know what the challenge is going to be.
No, just because like I'm always get something unexpected from Andre.
Ah, cool.
It's the bird brain!
The brain.
The bad line.
They said. And
And Eve Art Studio, thank you. You say that about dead legs as if you don't get dead legs from playing Smash. And I was just coming up with excuses as to why he doesn't want to read Uzumaki on the toilet. Because he wants to play Smash instead. With excuses have nothing to do with Junji Ito at all.
The bird brain says, was refreshing to animate birds after so long. Hard but refreshing. Also, all of this is in parenthesis. I don't... Okay.
Parenthesis is in...
Like, in brackets. It's like, here's my comment, but everything is bracketed out. I'm like, okay. Also, the bird is quite still at some points in the anim, like the beginning, but this is to let Porky's character, which will be added later, some place to shine.
Oh, is this for the ABC Music Challenge?
I think it might be, yeah.
Rather than for the Animorning Challenge. So this isn't about power centers. This is the collaboration that she's doing with Porky for the music video.
Yeah, but I think they're both trying to submit it for this as well. On my submission, I forgotten to precise that. Sorry, this is broken.
Do you want me to read it?
On my
Hold on, let me read it.
on my submission, I've forgotten to precise the hat.
Hold on, let me read it. On my submission, I forgot precisely what the power center was. It's the bird's chest. Okay.
There you go.
Mike just can't read.
I can read. I was reading it. It said
You weren't reading
It
it.
said submission.
Wow, Mike.
What?
Can you not interpret that to be submission?
Yeah, I can, but it's funnier.
Hisoka-kan, you can submit. Yeah, it might be a little bit late now because we're going to have to end fairly soon. This might trail over into tomorrow. I think if there's more submissions to go.
Well, which submission are you on?
But if you would like to submit, we have the form. We could link it into you.
Settings, send, linkity link. Yep, here it is.
Alright. Let's have a look at the bird brains. Oh, so cool. This is going to be super fun. I can't wait to see it. I mean, in terms of birds, it's kind of difficult to figure out exactly where the power center would be. Because the shape is very much like just one shape with a head like this. So it's a little tricky. I'm not 100% sure this was animated with power centers in mind.
No, I don't think so.
Just because I can't necessarily... I suppose here you could say it would be the head, because the head's leading the action.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels more about the actual movement of the flight than it does about any kind of character acting leading the motion.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to take a guess, I would say because of this one frame here, I'd say you could say it's like the head being pulled upwards.
I mean...
because everything seems to be following the head.
Is the bird brain saying that the power center was the chest?
The chest. Okay, let's see. If I know where it is, then I can suggest ways that we could push it more towards the chest. Let's see. It's interesting too with having a character riding another character, because I guess if you want to use power centers in the animation, you could either choose to have each character have a different power center, or you could choose to have these two characters have a power center united. Like they do that in How to Train Your Dragon, is when Hiccup and Hiccup is riding Toothless.
Mm-hmm.
They share a power center because it's showing in terms of animation language that the two are united at that moment.
Gotcha.
And are sharing similar instincts. It's a really nice way to show that the two characters are super in sync. So if you want a chest power center, I'd say here you could push that chest forward more. I'm assuming you're talking about the bird as well, by the way. Just because you said the rider wasn't very fleshed out at the minute, because that's going to be Porky's segment.
No, I think there's going to be another character added by Porky on a magic carpet or something like that.
Oh, okay. In that case, is it the bird's chest or is it the human's chest that you're thinking the power center would be?
I think she wrote bird's chest.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I'd push this chest forward then, if this is the power center. Because the bird is flying forward, it's driving itself forward. And so its power center is going to be at the fore.
Thanks for the pledge, Emily.
Oh, thank you so much, Emily. For that kind of proud, free feeling.
Also, Remeter Gamer, thanks for the follow.
Hey, thank you for the follow.
Don't know how we missed that.
Push forward. So yeah, I'd push... If the chest is the power center, I'd push it here forward. And then, likewise with these frames, like, get that chest to, like, lead that action. Just here. You could raise up the head a little bit too, so that the chest is a bit more prominent, like the chest is pushing up the head. Bert says, I really feel like I'm in the air. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Let's see, and then this is a held pose, so let's look at this one. I'd push that head up using the chest, so that it's less like the beak is leading and more like the chest here is leading. And then on this bit, make that chest more prominent. Like this.
Ed, help me! Wake up, Sid! Shut up, Tails!
Bert! Hey, thank you for the subscription!
Tier 2. Thank you very
Wow,
much.
you got me an emote, Bert! Heck yeah. I got Pride World!
We were,
Yay!
oh, nice. We were thinking of adding Knife Swifty for tier 2.
Night Swifty.
Knife.
Oh, Knife Swifty, okay.
Let me know if there's any improvements to that you would want to make, India. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'll just submit it.
Okay. You know what I was thinking about just before the stream?
What were you thinking about?
I know that you've been working on your puppet on stream lately,
Uh-huh.
but I really think I'd love to see you finish that animatic you were doing.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. I got so many like little side projects that I get like 80% on. It's annoying me. I think I'm almost done with the Sonic one though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I might share that on the stream.
And then if we have here, instead of the head pushing forward, we have the chest pushing forward. You see how the head is like pushing up and back a little bit here in the drawing that I've sketched over the top.
Yeah.
And really have like that be the thing that's coming forward. That feeling of freedom in the chest. That feeling of your heart soaring because you're flying. And then I would move the chest up here to be in shot a little bit more. And probably have it like a little bit more like this. Sorry for the scuffy drawings, guys. And then here, really have that like taper to the chest. So even though the chest is off screen, we still can tell that it's leading the action by the tapering of the body.
Darkfall says strong pecs.
Strong pecs! Appropriate for a bird, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
Show body taper. So even though chest is off screen, we can still tell it's leading the action. Hope my handwriting isn't too bad. It's actually very difficult to write in this program. And then we have one from behind. So this is interesting because we have to now convey the power center even though we're from behind the character.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what I would say, and it will require some slight adjustments, is to have the wings play more like this. So that everything is pushing down and in toward the chest. So I'm essentially using the wings and the tail here as arrows pointing to the power center.
Gotcha.
So visually, we're still indicating where all the power is coming from.
Could you potentially do that with the landscape as well behind? Compositionally have those pull towards the bird.
You could. It's a little bit difficult because we know that Porky's going to come in with another character.
That's true.
And so we don't necessarily want to gear the entire environment towards showing off one character only.
Yeah, okay.
But you could totally frame it a little bit more if you wanted to. Could frame using environment. Yeah, so the feathers would also fly out pointing at the chest. Exactly, yep. It really helps you design your frames to keep this kind of stuff in mind.
See you, Kurzak. Thank you for coming by.
Use wings and tail as arrows pointing toward power center. And then that's nice frame, really like that. And we're going over now, so let's get that chest in there, since that's driving the entire thing. Drive of force. Coming from chest. There we go. And then again here, it's just a matter of like really leaning into making that more apparent. Making the chest a feature. Like if you want it to be the center of the power and the movement that comes from your character, then making sure that you're framing it in a way that makes that apparent. I think is key. Let me just move these frames that I have accidentally put in the wrong place. There we go. Wow! And now we have one from above. So you generally just want to design this shape to be like this, I think. Just like, again, exaggerate that flared out shape.
Gotcha. Buff the bird.
Yeah, buff the bird a little bit, you know? Have everything pinning toward that center of force. Yeah. And yeah, those are like the kind of adjustments that I would make if I really wanted to drive home the chest here as being the power center.
Gotcha.
Just like really push those shapes. I think this is going to be a beautiful animation when you guys are done with it. I can't wait to see it. You definitely get the feeling of flight in it, which is really fun.
I think there's a more up-to-date version, if you're interested.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is it uploaded or?
Not to Sing Sketch. I just mean in the collab room. I think there's like a more inked version or something like that.
Oh,
I was seeing.
I could have a look. You might have to NDA me for a sec just so I can check I don't have a chat up.
You can look at it later. We can move on to the next.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe people would want to see on the stream.
No, I think we should move on.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
it might be
'cause-
nice since we're talking about this now, just to show people where it's at.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So we had a look at Porky's. Oh, Coffee Doodles! You did one! I didn't even know, Elaine! I didn't even know! That's awesome. Okay, let's have a look at this dude. What's he doing? He looks so sad already. I feel bad for him already.
Oh.
Oh no, he's sad! Oh no, he's sad! This is some really nice acting here, Elaine. Super nice. Oh my gosh. Is the Is the power center his skull? That's my guess.
I feel so. I feel like that is the case, yeah.
Yes, it is. Elaine, you can totally tell. That's so cool. I love this pose here. Where you've like... Hold on. Let me get this.
I love that sense of stretch.
Exactly, yeah. This here. Oh, Elaine, it's so nice. Mmm.
Delicious animation.
That's so fun. I love that. Yeah, I really feel like the power center is like here. And I think you communicated that really well through your gestures and everything too. The way that the hand is like leading up to this as well. You can see the arm is doing that, the fingers are doing that. Like everything is leading towards this. Super fantastic. Really, he's Charlie, the ferryman of the underworld. Poor Charlie, he looks so sad.
Nice.
Like the way that he gestures here with his head. You know, he leans it against his pole. Is super nice. This little gesture that shows that he's gesturing with his forehead rather than anything else. Because you could have had him like lean against the stick with his shoulder or bring the stick in towards him and cradle it to himself. But instead you have him like boop his little skull against the front of it. Because the skull is what's driving his motion. It's where all his emotion is stored. It's where like his thought processes and his emotional processes are coming from in this animation. And like this shape language here, I really love this shape language.
Yeah, that's really
That's
lovely.
Beautiful design element that really helps sell the power center as well.
Butte.
Yeah. That's so nice. And the way like the shoulders arc over too, and that kind of leads into this nice skull shape. Like all the shapes are flowing together really nicely. Just really like that design a lot. Like the big black expanse of the negative space of his hood as well really helps to draw attention to his skull, which is super fun. Let's see.
Also having the cloth dip down there shows that there's no neck. Immediately you're like, ooh, floaty skull.
Yeah. I think you could if you ease that hand a little bit more, just after he's landed his head against it, I think that'd be really nice. Just have his hand slide down slightly, give it a few more frames. And look how he leads with his head here. Isn't that nice? That lovely arc.
A little click of the jaw as well.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful shapes. And the way he's bringing that forward with his hand coming up to his face again is really nice. Like, I don't have much critique for this, Elaine, because I think you really sold the power center super well here. Droopy for sad, stretchy for happy. Oh, you're a big fan of shapes. Yeah, I can tell. Like, this design is so nice. I really like this arc. I think the only thing you want to watch is maybe your spacing a little bit. Like, really make sure that that head is being spaced. You're super aware of where everything is moving with that. And where the center line is. Spacing getting a bit bigger now. Spacing is biggest. You could even stretch him, which would be fun. And then we have the spacing become much tighter together here. And then we have that little overshoot where he bounces back down. and just keep that spacing like very tight and controlled. There, I think. And it'll just make it feel like a little bit of a cleaner arc. Do you see that? Other than that, like, I think this is great. I think you really take into power centers and kind of understand the concept of gearing your poses toward showing that.
Thanks for the follow.
Yeah, I agree, Palbro. Immediately lovable character. Very fun. Be careful with those forearm bones that they don't get too lost in the silhouette. If you can have them overlap as much as possible over the back of the butt, then that will make them like way more apparent. I'm in love with the shape of you. Every time I hear that song, all I can think about is Mike's brother singing it. Because there was a Christmas where I went to Mike's, and his brother was just... The only song his brother was singing constantly was that song, and it was just like all the time.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
Almost like a Tourette's tick level. Like he would just be doing something else.
I didn't even know that song until I heard your bro sing it, and now I like know the chorus.
That's the younger
I'm in
one.
love with your body.
That was the youngest one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, nice job, Elaine. Really nice. Let's go on to Boazio. Or Bozio? Bozo? Boazio.
Boazio.
I'm probably saying that absolutely correctly.
I think Bozio is probably your good one.
What is going to happen? I don't know. There's a water bottle or something.
Staging.
Let's have a look. Give me a grid. Elaine gave me a grid. You can give me a grid too. Give me a grid, Boazio. The exoskeleton says Beezy. I'll say Boazio for now, and then when I get corrected, I'll say it properly. What? Is this guy really excited about the door?
I think it might be a drinks machine.
Oh, of course. That makes sense.
It looks
This is
like
where
a door.
staging-
Yeah.
This is where staging would... I thought he was like, the hinge! That's my bad. To be fair, now that you've said it's a drinks machine, I think it's super obvious that it's a drinks machine. And I'm just a dumbass. But you know what? To account for dumbasses like me, because we do exist and we will look at your animations, I think...
I thought it was a door immediately because the floor meets the wall meets the machine.
I think having... There we go.
The hinge, Tulio! The hinge!
But look at the hinge, though! I think, like, staging it more like this.
The legendary one-hinge door.
Trying to get the head position right so I can get that quirical look that he has. This quizzical look. I think staging it like that would definitely make it clearer to me that it's a drinks machine. Yeah, it makes so much more sense now what he's doing because I know that he's pressing buttons and waiting for his drink to come out.
Yeah.
I thought that it was just like a door with a picture of a drink on it. I think staging it like this. I mean, the compromise is that you wouldn't see the character's expressions as much.
You could do a reverse shot where you're seeing the back of the drinks machine.
You could, but it's difficult then because they're pressing buttons on it.
That's true.
So, like, if you stage a few quads behind, then you're obscuring the character with the machine.
Yeah.
Would make it clearer.
Probably just put this into
It's a drinks machine.
1 point perspective.
Yeah, that's true. Which is essentially what I've done.
No.
Is that not 1 point perspective?
Yours might be, but I mean, if the point of perspective was in the middle between the two of them, then you could have the front face going off in perspective behind them,
Yeah, you're right.
and then you could bring the bottom of the drinks machine so it's overlapping more with the.
Yeah, you're right. Let me do that. Because that's a real good suggestion. So if we have the horizon line be like
Just like at their knees
just
or
in the middle.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then please excuse my slightly warped perspective, guys. It's kind of difficult to do freehand.
Those first two are really quite straight though.
Thank you.
And then and then the top one was just like
Wow. That's a good one. This is my life now. It's like, you're a good grid. Happy.
I mean, I probably would have made it lower, but you do you, boo.
Oh, I thought, okay. I mean, that's what I said at the beginning, and you said put in the middle.
I said it is at his knee height.
Oh, it's knee height.
Yeah.
Oh man, you could have told me that like before I drew the entire grid. Come on. All right, here we go.
I did tell you before you drew any grid.
I don't remember you telling me. Okay. I wish I had a line tool. Let me draw the entire thing.
Just draw the ones that you need.
I need all of them.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
Okay. It's the sound of Indy's mind computing.
You sound like a dial-up modem. You sound like.
Sound like a coffee grinder.
I miss dial-up.
Yeah, anyone who knows what I'm doing knows what I'm doing. Anyone who doesn't, good for you. Difficult times they were. I'm happy you don't have to deal with that anymore.
That sound was just coming out of your speakers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why would it do that? Or was it actually the hardware that did it? I think it was actually your speakers.
It was your speakers.
It made no sense for that.
I think the computer was telling you it was doing something. There we go.
It was the actual computer that did it.
Okay. Straight lines. You evade me. Huh. Huh. Ha!
Did we need? Okay, we needed all of this.
Yeah.
Are you linking right now?
Ha! Hey. I think we got it.
Think we got it.
Okay, guys. I present to you the grid.
Yeah. All
Now
right.
observe! Behold! What?
Nothing. Keep going.
What is
You
it?
got this.
Uh-huh.
I
You
believe
just make it go along the perspective lines. It's easy when you know how. Do in perspective, like you do it in the day-to-day. Like you're living in a world that's more than just 2 dimensions. Learning is a good thing. When you live in perspective, you can see the front of objects.
Somehow you have made it float.
Why? How?
Well, if they're on the floor plane.
Well, I'm assuming the floor plane is where the horizon ends.
Okay. No. Well.
Is it not?
Wouldn't it go lower? Wouldn't it come down to this point here?
I mean, it could if you wanted it to. I just assumed that the floor plane was, like, the end of the floor plane was the end of the horizon line.
Yeah, but if they're standing on the floor plane and they're like almost like in front of it, then
I can do it like that if you want me to. I'm just explaining why I did it like that.
okay.
Like, I'm okay to make it lower if you like it lower.
That makes more sense to me.
Okay.
No cheese is for the Mises.
There you go.
And now you don't even have to adjust this dude. Other than just to, like, maybe spread his feet out a little bit more. To take advantage of that feeling of 3 dimensions. Of him being in space.
The 3rd D. Never forget the 3rd D.
You can have just like this. Wow, clarity! Wow!
I'd be interested to see
Buttons.
whether their animation still matches up now.
Buttons.
Let's have a look. Here they go. It do.
It do.
The power of grids, guys. The power of perspective. You may feel like it's easier to do everything in profile because it makes things nice and simple, but it's way clearer to have things in perspective. Let this be a lesson to you all. Every single one of you out there. Let this be a lesson. I'm going a bit crazy. It's a good job that this is one of the last ones. I'm going a bit crazy, guys.
Let this be a lesson.
Let this be a lesson, guys. Are you all taught? I'm gonna erase mine. because now I'm looking at it. The staging is way clearer, so you just pretend I never said that. Just pretend I didn't. I've accidentally combined both of them, so now I can't get rid of it.
How did you accidentally combine them?
You know what? It's fine though, because obviously, like, yours is better, so they'll just take yours. So it's fine. Okay. I am gonna erase this now, though. There we go. Look at the difference, guys. Do you see? Do you see? Okay, so let's see. We were doing power centers.
Oh yeah.
I got distracted by the lack of grid. Okay, so let's see. Power centers. Where would I place this guy?
You gave them the feedback that there was a missing grid. They didn't have the grid. You've given them the grid feedback. They don't get anything else.
That's not
Gotta
true.
put a grid in it. You gotta put a grid
We
in
didn't say that last week.
We say it every week.
We didn't say that last week.
Okay.
So I think it's fair.
Alright.
I mean, I guess I would put the power center in being the chest, if I was to guess. Because a lot of the power seems to be going up to the chest here. And they're leaning chest forward here. And there's also this part where they lean forward just with the chest. So I would guess that this is a chest power center.
Yeah.
You want to watch your dimensions, because between this frame and this frame, the character jumps a lot in terms of their proportion. So
They just really excited about getting that juice.
let me write watch proportions. Did they say anything on the sheet?
Oh. I laugh if they they'd written about the staging. Who was this? Bozo. I think it is Bozo because they've written their name as Bozo.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, now we know, so I can pronounce it that way.
I enjoyed learning to push the poses of the character by leading with the head, creating something very expressive.
Awesome. Okay, well now we know that leading with the head, we can give some critiques. Let's see. Watch proportions, maintain volume, character grows towards end. Okay, so let's see. Let me look back through it now, knowing that the head is where they're leading from. Okay. See. So let's see, how could we push these poses? So one thing that I do need to call out just before I do that is this pose where they're leaning forward. I like it, but I think you need to watch out for the balance here. So I've said this before, but for anyone who has missed it, to find the balance of a character, you generally, this is like, it's not always 100% correct, but it's a good rule of thumb, you know, to kind of help out if you're looking for quick ways to do a check, is draw a line down from clavicle, and that's whereabouts you probably need to center the weight. So to find center of weight, quick tip. Draw down from clavicle. Like, I find this super useful. I do this a lot. And then you want to make sure that your pose, like, your feet are basically supporting that center of weight. So you would probably need a foot to be like here. At least. And then let's put the other one back here. You can kind of see what I'm getting at. Let's move it back a little bit so it overlaps that.
Can I say something contradictory?
Yeah, of course you can.
Potentially, if you wanted to keep their feet together, you could probably stick the butt out and have the feet come under the chest. Like if they leant over.
Well, it's let me draw it and show you. So, like, it's kind of difficult to do that as a human.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what you were doing was you had your torso more vertical. So if you try that again with your torso straight horizontal, you'll see. So what you were doing was this. And what they're doing is this. So if you try doing that, I just want to see Mike try and do it because it's fun. So put your feet together. And now lean your body down more. And then put your hands in front of you. Look, Mike can do it. He's doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah. But I think I stick my butt out.
You do stick your butt out more. Let me do an alternate then. So let me erase these for a sec.
Because my head was above my feet.
Okay, I'll finish a note on this one and then we'll do an alternate. Spread.
And now I try to find gravity. I forget the melody of that song.
Okay, and then I'll just write, draw down from clavicle, have feet. What would you say? Have them kind of centered around that? Centered around the point of the weight? I'm asking you how you think I should phrase this.
Oh, centered over I think like have your center of mass over your feet, maybe, or if your feet are together, then
So have feet under center of mass.
yeah.
Okay, and now let me just do this alternate version. So, how am I going to push the butt back here without also pushing back the chest? There we go.
Gravity is just a theory anyway.
Push butt back to counterbalance chest. Thank you, Mike.
Welcome.
Oh,
I've had 2 suggestions in this one.
yeah, you have. Keep them coming. Because both of your suggestions have been super good suggestions. Okay. So same with this, is a very unbalanced pose.
Yeah.
So look to maybe give this a bit more balance. Look to give character more balance here.
For MB says, I felt like India learned something this time.
Yeah. You'll notice one of my biggest weaknesses is that I tend to overcomplicate things. I'm big into overthinking solutions to problems and coming up with the most complex solution possible.
You reckon?
I do reckon that a lot of times when I come up with a solution and you're like, why didn't you just do this? And then I'm like, oh, I guess I could have just done that.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they start from an unbalanced point. Like if they were going to do that, I would probably have them maybe kick out their leg. Like if they were like going forward and then like, wait, no, and then they like throw back, you probably want their leg out to balance that.
Like this.
Yeah, or maybe even more. Because then that could lead into the stomp that comes next. Yep. Like that sort of like step. You think they're going to take a step and then they're like, pop, Nope. And then stamp. I remember a friend of mine.
Bam!
I forget how it ended up. I think we back and forth on it, but I can't remember the exact who drew what, where, when. So let's just say he did it for whatever. But had a pose like that in a comic, and then a friend comes over and it's just sort of like, what are you doing? And the guy who's doing it goes, I'm showing this guy my foot. And that was it.
Alright, so here we are. I'm looking at the acting now. I'm actually looking at the center of the power center. So if your power center is in your head, I'd say have the entire pose drawn more toward that. So I'd be tempted to adjust the pose more like this. Have everything like leading up to the head. I'm changing position on the ground a little bit, sorry about that. Even bring the head over a little bit more. And counterbalance that with the legs.
Nice.
Doop-da-doop-doop.
Yeah, because if you actually look at the anatomical structure of someone standing, they're more of an S curve than a straight up and down, with their hips pointed.
Don't lie.
Push a little forward because the curve of the spine pushes the back a little back, and then the curve of the neck brings the head forward, and so it's a big old wiggly line. So India's, because the head's pushed a little bit back, there's a little bit more exaggeration on the teach trashbot to bam.
How come? Oh, to bam. I thought you said to ban.
No.
I was like, is someone being like weird in chat? Yeah, we can teach Trashbot to bam for sure. One good tip is when your character's facing something, character facing this way. This is an advanced technique. Think about opening the face up that way. And by opening face up, I mean if you're gonna narrow an eye and lift an eyebrow, then have the eyebrow lift on the side that you're opening. So look at it like this. You see? So rather than have the eyebrow narrow on the side they're looking toward, have the face open up that way, like tilt the mouth to create this kind of funnel outwards.
So that would be an open face.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If a character's displeased, often they'll close their face towards something. This is a technique that Disney use a lot, and a technique that Glen Keane swears by. And I use it all the time to push my faces. So, you know, think about that. Whenever you see a character who's like reacting shocked to something, and they're like, "Oh my god," the reason that we have like those curves is because they're opening their face up in that direction. So that's like advanced acting notes for you guys. Ghost! Jinkies!
Grid.
I like it. So yeah, in this pose, what I'm trying to do is like gear everything toward the head. Gear everything towards the head. To make that the focus of the pose. And make it more apparent that that's like where the center of motivation is coming from for this character. Bam! And then we have this pose, which we have already given some critique on the balance of.
Yeah.
And then this pose, again to be leading by the head. I'd probably have the head more extreme. And I'd puff the chest up less, so that again we're being scooped towards that head rather than scooped towards the chest. Thinking about what all those lines are pointing to. And they should all be pointing to the head. There we go. And then for this, like, I like the smear frame, but also think about the fun that you could have creating some interesting breakdowns here where the head really leads through. You know, you could have some real fun with the movements here that you're kind of losing if you smear it too much.
You wondered why it was taking me so long to type the command out. Because I was plussing it.
You could have a nice like arc coming down as well. Like nice head arc. Do you think it would make it a bit more interesting than just having a straight smear between the two frames? And then for this pose, like again, watch the proportions of the head between these frames. Watch changing proportions. So to lead with the head here and really have the head. I thought of a fun pose, but I won't do it because it changes things too much. If I was to take this pose and try and make it more head centric, then I guess what I would do is really like have the head lead the body here. Have it be like, think about your lines of action and where they end and converge. Like having the head be like the absolute end point to the spine here, and having it flow into the neck and into the leg means your eye travels super fast up this line and it gets stopped by the head, which is where you want your audience to be looking.
Sorry, I probably should have done the like to that rather than just being like, it gets stopped by the head.
That's okay. Any Foley illustrations I can get, I will gladly take. Nice. And then again, this should lead up to the head. And let's give the head a little bit more space here, so that we're really cradling it in the shape of this arm. And then I'm going to tilt it a little bit more, give it a bit more interest. This way. So I'd say that feels more like the head is leading now. What is the new good luck money hole? That's a place for you to deposit your Doig books if you're done with them. And you get good luck for doing it.
Make Trigrid a reality. Trashbot gets triggered when challenges have no grid.
And then let's have a look at this last pose here, because I think we could make this clearer. If we separate the arm a little bit here and have this flow straight up. The only problem is that the silhouette's going to get a little bit clouded by this leg coming through. Let me see if I can find a way to fix that, because we don't want the arm to get lost in the silhouette of the leg. So how about if they're like go underarm instead? And then we can have this, and if we push the leg here, we could even get a little bit of negative space in there between the arm and the crook of the hip, so that it will read better in silhouette. No grid, alert, no grid, no! Trash bot. A bot after my own heart.
You made a difference.
Hell yeah. I mean, much as I would love to have, like, a frame where they're just like...
Their face up against it.
Ah! I love drinks machine!
Okay, this review has gone on too long.
Okay.
We need to. What's the next challenge, India?
But I've done the key poses and tried to push it more toward the head. Just look for clarity of silhouette. Did we receive another submission?
So 1 second. I think Hisoka-kan submitted something, and it looks like something. It's a 3D animation. It looks like they've done for something else. They said in their submission, I've been working on this animation not strictly for this challenge, but I did purposefully use power centers, especially on the female. I think I learned a lot about how useful power centers can be for the weight of the character.
That's awesome.
It's up to you if you want to review it now, or if it's gone too late. We can at least
It's got up pretty
watch
late,
it.
but let's have a look.
We can at least watch it and see if there's anything there then.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to be...
Well, I haven't uploaded it yet because I hadn't run it past you.
Oh.
So, show in folder.
Ow!
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 Okay, it's uploading now.
Cool. Okay, well, this week's Animorning challenge is what I will move on to. This week's Animorning challenge is going to be more of a technical challenge for you guys. So this challenge has been kind of an acting challenge. Like, we've been looking at tools we can have in our acting tool belt. But this next challenge is purely technical. Like, this is all about how to convey proper weight and material through animation. So, this week, I'd like you guys to look at cloth, which is something that we can't get away from as animators, much as we might like to. So, I would like you guys to animate a movement featuring cloth. But you have two to do. You have one with light cloth, such as a silk or a light t-shirt, or a summer dress, or a handkerchief. And then you have one to do with a heavy material like a curtain or a cloak. You can do both in one animation if you want. You could have, a lady taking off a cloak to reveal a summer dress or something. Or you could do something more like, I just want to do curtains blowing and then I want to do a flag blowing and show the difference between having a very light material and a very heavy material.
Cool. Cool.
And it's all about you guys focusing in on what are the differences in the shape language, what's the differences in the spacing and the timing between the two, and trying to show us through your animations how heavy the cloth is.
Mm-hmm.
You've been avoiding clothes for this very reason. You've been found out. So this week's challenge, again, no pressure to spend more than 3 hours on it. But I think if you guys tackle this, then it will really set you up for future success. If you guys can figure this out. Because yeah, cloth is scary, but biting the bullet and just going for it and figuring out like where you're weak, where you need to like maybe relook at things, figuring out what it's all about is gonna help you not have to avoid it ever again in the future. Because it's great having a really well acted movement. It's great having a really dynamic, action-filled movement.
Mm-hmm.
But if the clothing and the materials don't support it in the scene, then you can end up fudging it.
Gotcha.
Whereas where you have really nicely animated pieces of material that you clearly have understood, it can add so much. And think about things like Disney films or shorts where multiple animators had to be on the same project, on the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
And think about how they had to keep the weight of the material consistent for the character between the scenes animated by different animators. All of the animators had to have an understanding of how heavy Sleeping Beauty's dress was.
Yeah.
Versus her shawl. Because every animator had to know when they were animating it, like what kind of spacing and timing they needed on the cells there to make it feel like it was consistently the same dress.
So you're saying Disney stuff? I know that they used live action reference. Is that something that's permissible and you would encourage in this challenge?
I always encourage live action reference in every single challenge. I want to make that clear. We did have a challenge focusing purely on it, but you guys are welcome to use reference anytime you want, because using reference is a great tool for you as an animator. And something that animators in industry use all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, do feel free. Like, if it's going to help you learn, if it's going to help you analyze it, if it's going to help you grow, then that's fantastic. I have really good things to say about it. What about animating long flowing versus short tight cloth? Yeah, if you want to like add that to it and have that as part of your challenge, I think that would be a great thing to learn.
If you were interested in animating more Charlie coffee doodles, what if you could do one where he's dry and one where he's wet? So it would be a heavier cloth if it's waterlogged.
That's 100% true. Yeah, you could have the same material be changed by the environment.
Yeah.
Like, and that's true. Any light material, any light cloth is going to be made much heavier by being waterlogged.
Mm-hmm. If you're wanting to like use the same material or the same character or whatever in two states.
It's a great suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Off the cuff.
Super good. Super good. I like that.
Yeah, cloth then.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for this cloth challenge?
Touching cloth. No, I'm joking. It's dark materials.
That's copyright, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Per dark materials.
I don't have a name for the challenge. Weighted blanket.
Weighted blanket. Okay, no. In honor of the weighted blanket that you have ordered.
No.
Everyone has to animate India in a big weighted blanket.
No, they don't. Let me give this a refresh and see if it's come in.
It should be there now.
It is. Here we are. Get clothy with it. Nice, Elaine. It's super good. Oh, awesome. Let's have a look at these. At this. It looks like it's going to be a little longer than the others. Oh. Let's have a look. I'm so curious as to what this scenario is. I can't really hear the dialogue, which doesn't help. These poses are super fun. Okay, cool. So you were saying that you definitely animated the girl character. Oh, look at that spear. That's fun. 3D smear. Yay! You definitely animated the girl character with the power center in mind, is what you were saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, off the top of my head, I'd say it seems like it's the hips. Like, that character feels super heavy. You know, the legs are almost always bent. And it feels like a lot of the movement is coming from there. So that's what I would guess. So I'm not 100% sure.
It was the hips, Tulio.
It was the hips. Oh, awesome.
What
There you are. Well, you obviously conveyed it, didn't you?
What is happening to the bank?
What is happening to the bank?
Scrub through. It's just doing a wobble.
I think he's about to look at it and she's trying to distract him.
Have you textured the bank with, like, your rough drawings for this scene?
It's like a Toy Story type bank where it's like folded up out of paper. So I would say when she jumps across the screen here, there's a little bit of feeling of floatiness here. So I think you really want to think of the hips here as being a ball bounce. And also be sure that you have some anticipation for that jump. So maybe like bring her a bit lower down here. and then jump up here and get across there a little bit faster. Just because at the minute there's like the feeling that she's kind of just floating over there without properly taking the weight or springing off. So I think ball bounce would really help. I think part of the problem is just that maybe it feels a bit too slow. So you could speed that up a little bit, slow down in the middle. Wait, the slow's slower and the fast faster, as Patrick Stannard would say, to bring back that piece of advice. Like, this is nice pose here. I really like this. In terms of these poses, I think you could do something that feels a bit more natural with the legs, perhaps. So let's see, power center is here. So I think you could maybe... clear the silhouette a little bit more here with this hand. I keep the gestures a little bit lower so that they're more centered around that center of power there.
So really drop that far shoulder. Cool.
Yeah, just make it feel a little bit more casual, I guess, and relaxed. And then this is another nice pose. See, power center here. I think you could hunch her towards that a little bit more.
I love the straight line of her like neck into her jaw.
Yeah, that's fun. Break the silhouette here with her hand. Remember, silhouette is super key. And then again, keep those gestures low so that they're centered around the hips. And maybe you could bring that neck up just a little bit to have it go with the flow of the body line here. So you still keep that nice straight, but it comes straight out of the body. Straight out of da hip, Tulio! And then here I think the balance might be a little bit off. I really like this nice line you have here, going straight from elbow to elbow. That's super fun. I think it just needs the hips to be shifted over just a little bit to feel a little bit more balanced. And I always like bringing that heel off the ground. I think would be nice. If you can bring that shoulder a bit higher, that'd be fun. Yay! Just pushing those poses.
Kapop!
Look at, I really like the way that you have the fingers settle here. Super nice the way that they're like delayed behind the action. Super fun. This is a lovely pose.
Yeah, filling that behind the back is nice.
Yeah, I just really like, there's just something super appealing about like the way this hip is so up. And then you get that really nice flow along the back. This is the kind of pose I love drawing. And in fact, I'm only drawing it here not to push it, but just because I want to draw it, because it's a fun pose.
Aww.
I just want to draw it. I guess you could bring that hand out a little bit more to clear the silhouette of the face a little bit. because that's really nice. And then the way that this is like coming towards the camera and is super foreshortened, I really love. That's just fun. I really like that pose. I'm just gonna write, I just really like this pose. I'm not even giving a note here. Apart from perhaps on that front hand. Yeah, I think the weight is the main thing you want to just watch out for. And in terms of it, I think the thing you want to look out for is just like where the center of weight is at all times, especially during the jump over. That's the part which struck me as being the part that I felt was least believable. So just watch what's happening with that. And if it helps to think of the body and the pelvis as like a ball bounce and just focus on doing that and making that feel good, and then looking at putting the body over the top of it, then if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Sometimes I do that. Pesmat, your hands are now orange. You've made 6 cups of Thai tea concentrate. Nice. Nice. Sounds good. But yeah, how did you find using power centers? And also, Mike, can you NDA me for just a sec? I'm just going to pull up some documentation. And I want to make sure people aren't seeing the folders that surround them.
I'll just switch off your screen.
Okay, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they said, I think I learned a lot about how useful power centers can be for the weight of the character.
They're in chat as well, though, so...
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem, Hisaka-kan. No problem at all. Thank you for submitting something. I love looking at you guys' animation.
I'm trying to think of what I could put on here that would be fun. I can show you guys something. It's the first cut of what I've been working on. I'll show that while you look for stuff. That cool, India?
Yeah.
Please don't automatically play. You automatically played, didn't you? Okay, so let me...
Okay, you can show my screen now. So this is a sneak peek behind...
Show my thing first.
Okay.
Is that, if that's cool?
I won't preface it then. I'll wait till you've shown your thing and then I'll preface it.
Cool. Window capture, VLC. Never mind. I would just go with yours.
What?
I'll just go with yours because I tried to add something. It's going to be a bit more complicated. So.
What, you mean you're not showing your thing anymore?
No. Go with you. Go with yours.
Do you want me to get it up so you can... people can see it via NDI?
No, it's cool.
Okay, let me preface this then.
Yeah.
So this is a sneak peek behind the scenes of Mystic Crystal. This is I'm going to show you guys some acting sheets that I made for Dan and Brian. Luckily they don't contain any like spoilers as to the designs because the drawings on them are very simple. But these are the kind of things that we've been asking the animators to focus on and look at. And power centers are included, so I thought it might help to see, like, just to see the kind of things you think about.
Okay. Shall I show your screen then?
Yeah, go for it. So here you are. So you can see that here I've specified that the power center is his heart. So we have a bunch of stuff where if Danny is moving, he's kind of pulled by the heart leading the action. And gestures come up to his heart or come away from his heart. They either push outwards from, if he's feeling exuberant, or they come inwards too if he's feeling either emotional or sad or scared. So, yeah, the hair is on point. So yeah, we've got Loosey Goosey, which is a big contrast to Brian. Brian's movement should be sharp and efficient, lots of hard accents with minimal follow-through. Keep movement past direct. His power center is its pelvis. Of course it is. And no blinks is something we have for Brian. His power center is his stare. It's good. That's good.
Super cool.
Yeah, so the great thing about Danny and Brian when you come to animate them is because, as I've put here, they contrast really well together. Because Danny has very flamboyant, expressive movements, whereas Brian has very stoic, small, withheld, under control movements. So having the two of them together is really fun because whereas Danny is very bouncy, Brian is very sharp and to the point. Falbro,
Always watching.
so yeah, I'd show you guys the other characters, but some of the characters are actually spoilers for the video, so I can't do that.
Aw.
But you know Danny and Brian are in it, so I can show them. The princess is also in it, and in terms of the princess, I've very much just written that her power center, like Dan, is also the heart, which links their two characters together thematically, which is nice because obviously Danny and the princess have a connection that I want to express through the animation, so syncing up their power centers like that is a nice way to express that. Except rather than being flamboyant and bouncy, her movements are much more graceful and restrained. So yeah, and that's my sneak peeks. So yeah, you guys have the challenge, and we're gonna have to go because I have a whole ton of work to get through.
Yeah. Can I show my thing just before we go?
Yeah, I thought you couldn't.
I couldn't. I had to set some stuff up, so I was letting you do your thing while I did it.
Please go for it.
Okay. This should play. Hopefully you guys can hear the sound on it. Kind of looks like it's working. Although it's not really playing. No, it's not working. Sorry, I'll do it next time.
Oh no, how come?
Or I can just share my screen actually.
Yeah, do
That
that.
makes more sense. Did you guys hear the sound though?
Bum bum. They did.
Put this over here. Put this up here. 1 second. Oh, this is a mess.
What is going on?
I'll do it on Jill's. I can still show your screen, can I? Yeah, cool. All right. Here it is.
I like that little bus icon.
It's good, huh?
It's cute.
I'll do it like this. So yeah, this is a thing I'm doing for the Sonic Let's Play intros. So let's see. I'll turn the music down a little bit. There it goes.
You're so cute, Mike.
One more time, and then we'll head off. Look at her go. So yeah, hopefully I have that finished very, very soon. That was India this morning. Okay, right, ending soon. We'll find someone to raid. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck with this week on your
Everything.
your Animorning challenges and whatever else you are endeavoring to do. I feel like in that India might have had too much tea.
Never.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Let's find someone to raid. I heard that Domo recently got partner, so if he's streaming, oh, he appears to not be streaming.
Get some tea, get some tea, get some tea, get some tea. Have some tea before you go to work. Yeah!
Yeah.
Whoopah!
Looks like Clyde is streaming, so let's go to Clyde.
Cloud. Cloud. Is that rainbow tea? What is this? Pride tea? Oh my gosh. I need that. I need that emote. How do I get that? I want that. Let's go collide his stream. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, Domo just raided someone. Did they just raid?
Oh no.
Okay, we're raiding Clyde. Thank you so much for coming.
LGBT. That's perfect.
LGBT.
That's perfect. Oh, it's so good. Let me see if I can do it.
Domo raided Hainers. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, I don't think I got it. No, I don't have it. Damn it. I require it. All right, let's go and raid.
Okay. See you.
And may the rest
Of your day.
be filled
With
adventure.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.